Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining Sushi Tech Tokyo 2026 Day. Now, we'll begin the session on Japanese music goes global, how technology is shaping the future of entertainment. So please welcome speakers. Mayor Brown LLP, Stephanie first. Tenka Mayor, Baby Jam. BBI, Amari Bryden. Sandro, Anita Baumgartner. Music Tech Japan, Takayuki Suzuki.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, please have a seat. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So thank you so much for coming this session. And also we're going to talk about the more like a Japanese music export and technology, how we can collaborate. So first of all, so I would like to let the speakers and introduce themselves. So please, Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Hurst. I'm a partner at Mayor Brown LLP. It's a global law firm. I specialize in mergers and acquisitions as well as venture capital, supporting mostly cross-border transactions, including in the music tech space.
Thank you. And 10.
Hello everyone, I'm Ten Kamel. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me at SUSTECH. So we provide their application for artists. Please, so great.
Thank you. Amalie.
Thank you. Hi everybody. My name is Amalie. I'm the Senior Innovation Manager at the BPI. So we're a trade body for record labels in the UK. And we also have a membership tier for innovation startups who are working in the tech space.
Thank you. Anita.
Hi, I'm Anita from Soundraw. I'm the head of marketing. We're a legally safe and ethical AI music generator. I'm going to give a presentation later and leave the rest for that. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And so I'm Takayuki Suzuki. I'm based in Tokyo, Japan, and also I'm running the several initiatives, but mostly it's so I run the Music Tech Japan, which is initiative that connect the Japanese music tech startup to the global ecosystem, like the amazing speakers, and then also my basic concept for the music tech is the music. I think that is from day one. Music has been really with technology even before information technology came up, right? It's like so. Of course, you know the vinyl, the analog record. The vinyl was also the kind of cutting edge technology at that time, and then also the CD is also the same. So and then now, so we are seeing lots of the reiteration by technology like TikTok, Spotify, and the YouTube, and then also, of course, AI is really one of the main topics. So we need to take care about. So I would like to give you some kind of sense for this the session panel. So first of all, so this panel is also powered by an organization called SEIPA, maybe SEIPA in the English way, the acronym of the Japan Culture and Entertainment Industry Promotion Association, 一般社団法人 Culture and Entertainment 産業振興会, which is formed by 5 major music industry associations, and then we are joining force to make the more like a really the bigger vehicle to the lead Japanese music export and then platform to be able to connect. And then next slide, please. I was scared. This is the clicker. Okay. And then, so maybe as of some of you know, like a Music Award Japan, which is one of the biggest our initiative for celebrate the Japanese artists and also the global artists from Japan to the world. So we launched last year in Kyoto, where is the of course our origin of the culture. And then sort of this year, so we're gonna do in Tokyo. It's like a really near place, like a Toyota Arena, on 13th June. So please check out the Music Awards Japan.com. And then also maybe I would like to give some the numbers. So the maybe as you may know, the Japanese government like METI, Keisansho, also which leads the entertainment and the creative industry strategy, right? So now the entertainment includes anime, manga, gaming, and then of course music is the second largest export from Japan to the global. And then so the government announced the like a target for like a 4 or 5 times bigger than our overseas revenue until the 2033, which is really big target. And then also that they announced like a winning strategy for the Japanese music export by METI. It's like so live entertainment from by a Japanese artist is really kind of booming, like Creepy Nuts, the Kujikaze performed at the Coachella, and then how to continue and then also to keep engagement with for like a U.S. audience or the global audience. I think that is a really still we need to exploring, and then also the bringing into the super fan, like so we say like oshikatsu in Japanese, but the super fan is also the now global term to that make a more like a high value revenue from that. Okay, that's it from now, and then so that is a really kind of a basic concept. And then, so I would like to talk about as a first part and how the technology and the startups are really relevant to the music industry. And then, so I would like to ask the Amari to share. The BPI is the British Recording Association. That maybe so Amari will tell you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Taka. Yes, so as Taka says, we are the trade body for record labels in the UK. So our members include the 3 biggest music companies, Warner, Universal and Sony Music UK, and around 300 independent labels and distribution companies. We represent around 90% of the global market share of UK music that's played anywhere in the world. So we are a powerful lobbying voice. We run the Brit Awards and the Mercury Music Prize. We have also got some schools. So we're very involved in the whole ecosystem of the music industry. But my role, as I think I've got the coolest job at the BPI, I look after nurturing a relationship with tech startups and founders. They have a free access to the BPI membership, and we run pilot projects and beta projects looking at adding value to record labels. So most recently, we just delivered an accelerator program in the UK where we helped 40 music tech startups to raise money. They generated over £30 million, and they've started now exporting globally as well. But I would say that technology, as Taka already mentioned, technology is everything. The recorded music industry is a technological industry at heart. It is very pro-innovation, and it wants to do things in new ways. And so we enable a lot of that, from the really uncool stuff like copyright protection, AI and patenting, royalty collection, data analysis. There's lots of that kind of stuff. And there's also lots of really cool immersive technology, bringing new audiences to new experiences all over the world.
Thank you so much. So yeah, as Emily shared, also the BPI is like the second largest, so third largest music market, and also the biggest industry body, has been really already relevant and also supporting the music tech startup in UK. And also now we have really 2 startups from Japan, and then also the music tech startup from Japan, and who has really big ambition to exploring the global market. So I would like to hand over to the 10 for the presentation.
It's okay?
Yeah, okay, please.
So I'm Tan, CEO of Baby Jam, a music tech startup based in Japan. So we provide a platform that helps artists build their careers for digital to global. Thank you. So title. I'm excited to introduce Baby Jam, a new platform designed to transform how artists grow and monetize their careers in the digital era. So let me start with the market opportunity. The Japanese music market alone is valued at approximately 70 billion US dollars. As shown on this slide, the market is composed of live music, recorded music, publishing, and merchandising. This is a large and this diversified industry. However, there are still major inefficiencies, especially in how artists grow and generate revenue. Here's a core problem we are solving. The file creation and the distribution are still fragmented, and file creation and the distribution have already been digitized, but promotion and financing are still fragmented and underdeveloped. This creates a major gap. Artists can release music easily, but they struggle to scale visibility and secure funding to grow sustainably. So to address this, we developed Noda Promotion, a platform that helps artists manage and optimize their promotional activities digitally. It connects with various data sources and provides actionable insight, allowing artists and teams to execute more effective campaigns. So our vision is simple. Build an artist's career starting from digital. We empower artists to grow from online traction into sustainable long-term career without relying solely on traditional industry structures. So it's case study. We already have a strong proof point. In one case, our system helped generate 500 million TikTok plays and 52 million music streams, and almost a 3,000% return on investment. This demonstrates how data-driven promotion can directly translate into real revenue and growth. So its track record. Our traction is also significant. We have supported over 12 artists and more than 3,000 campaigns and over 80 companies. This gives us a strong data set and industry validation. So our solution building on this, our next game-changing solution is a proprietary database and forecasting system. It's 4 areas. We provide predictive insight across 4 key areas. 1, music revenue forecasting and concert attendance forecasting and merchandising demand, so last advertising performance. This allows artists and their partners to make better decisions, reduce risk, and maximize returns. So on top of this data layer, we introduce Nodal Finance. This is a new model combining music and financial service. With approximately 90% prediction accuracy, we enable services such as streaming-based loan, marketing optimization, revenue collection cycle. Our competitive advantage comes from 3 key factors. 1, proprietary data and strong industry network in music industry and risk mitigation capabilities. In summary, Baby Jam connects data, promotion, and finance to unlock the next generation of artist growth. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now, so the music business also the really the relevant to the financial sector, and then now also the really musical assets is really the hot topic for the global music business. Okay, and then also let me hand over to the Anita.
Thank you very much. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, let me introduce you to Soundra, the legally safe and ethical AI music generator. Actually, I hope we can work together maybe because you probably start where we stop with music generation. But let me tell you a bit about Soundra as a team. So yeah, Soundra is a group of music technology professionals. Something we all have in common here is we love music. Actually, some of the team is here. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, we're established in February 2020 in Tokyo. I'm Anita, I'm the head of marketing. I joined just about 2 years ago as a lifelong music lover and with 10 years in marketing experience to help Soundra export music globally, our AI music from Japan. It was founded by Daigo, who's here today, the founder and CEO. He was a dancer, actually, and he could not find the tracks that he was looking for. So he decided to take it in his own hands and democratize the access to music production for everybody. And with the help of friends that he met over the years, they started creating data to train the music algorithm. This is from the first office of Soundra, where you can really nicely see that the goal and the mission of Soundra is to create the #1 most loved music service in the world. 世界一の AI 作曲サービスを作る. Now Soundra basically has 2 main pillars. We have a B2C pillar, where we mainly go for creators and musical artists. But we also try to expand more in B2B. So please find me after the talk if you're interested in Soundra and music solutions at all. Just recently, we launched a collab with LG. We're also in Captions and Canva. We have a collab with Panasonic, and those are through API or custom solutions. Do many of you know the Will Smith pizza AI video? Do any of you know that? That's one of the first videos of AI. Well, Soundra doesn't have anything to do with that, but we were the background track for another very creepy pizza eating video with 1.4 million views. That was one of the first AI commercials made where just a creator wanted to show off what AI can do. And up until now, creators need background music. Now more and more people are hit with copyright strikes. So creators globally use Soundra. We're in almost every country we have creators that use Soundra for their content. And then also for musical artists, we have collabs with big artists like 5YO4AIN and French Montana, but also we worked with music artists in New York City. So you can see me there in the front, but this was a competition. They all made beats with Soundra, and then the winners could go on a really big rap show called On the Radar. So also people globally participated in this contest. And then for our B2B solutions, we have video to music. We have the Soundra API that's in Captions, Canva, and other creator tools. And that way creators can make music for the creations that's highly customizable. We're powering LG Smart TVs on their web OS. They can make music with Soundra. And our newest project is Space Music AI. That is for local businesses, for locations like gyms or coffee shops. You can get background music with Soundra. How it's made. It looks very complicated, but the heart of Soundra basically is artists. Like always in music, I think the heart is always people, and Soundra needs the human touch. So all our data is made in-house by in-house producers, or producers that are very close to us. They create melody, chords, bass, drum. Then it's put in our tech through machine learning algorithms in the last 6 years. It is made into these files, and then when the user prompts Soundra, it puts out these files. And how it sounds, I have a video here that hopefully works. So basically, you can all try it for free on your phones if you want. What users purchase then is the license. So you can prompt theme, genre, mood, and then it makes you tracks. Boom. That's how fast it goes. These tracks were never heard in the world before. And then we can listen to it a little bit. That's how it sounds. And the cool thing is also you can customize it while you listen to it. So basically, it has these blocks, and each block can be customized to your liking. Can be made more intense, less intense. You can take out the melody, change the instruments, do whatever you like, basically. And then you can save stems, wave, and anything you like. And our subscribers basically get the license to use the music however they want. Yeah, Soundra stands out because we're legally safe and have high quality. And that's the last slide. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Anita. So please raise your hand if you, how many of you guys make a music with snow? スノーで音楽作ったことある人 So you are not legally safe. Please be careful. So as we seen, like the Baby Jam and also the Sounddraw, yeah, both are the utilize and also leveraging the power of the AI. So, but this is obviously so the US and then also the AI and the copyrights, and it's really kind of also one of the big topic right now. And then of course like a US, the law framework and the companies, big companies, also tech and entertainment both has a really kind of a big power to decide which way we're going to go. Stephanie, can you a little bit share about the kind of where we are, and then also what is those startup, also technical tech founders need to take care of?
Yes, thank you. And just a quick disclaimer, all views here are not legal advice and just the views of myself and not Mayor Brown. But why is the US important? In 2025, about 70% of the world's major AI models were in the US, developed by US companies and academic organizations. So the US is always an important market when we're looking at how things develop from the legal perspective and how you can protect yourself as a startup. In the US, there's basically two main questions that you deal with. One is how do we train AI models using copyrighted materials, such as copyrighted songs? And then the second is the AI music that's generated through these platforms something that you can actually copyright? So taking the first question, and Anita, this goes along with Soundraw as well. The first question is, can you use this copyrighted material when you're training these models? And in the US right now, that's a very much unsettled legal point of view. And right now there's several major cases, significant litigation going on. And there's a couple big cases. One of them is against Suno and the other against Udio. And we've seen settlements coming out of that. Both of these companies were sued by major music companies, Warner, Universal, Sony in 2024. And we've seen settlements come out of this. So in 2025, Udio settled with both Warner and Universal, and they created a licensing framework for those music catalogs to be used in training these AI models. And that was one framework that was developed, and it was considered walled off, which meant that the artists that were part of these companies, they either opt in or opt out of using their music through these platforms. And then the second piece of this is that you weren't able to actually download anything that you created from these platforms using that material. So it kind of limited the ability for end users to actually monetize or commercialize the music that they created. The next settlement that was with Suno and Warner, that one allowed for users that created music from the catalog of Warner to actually export it. So it was a bit more of a flexible framework. But I think what we're seeing coming out of both of these cases is that it's important to start licensing and kind of building those relationships now when you're using copyrighted materials that come from these big companies. Or you can take an alternative approach like Anita and Soundraw and develop the music in-house so you don't run into those types of copyrighted issues. And I think the legal framework for this will continue to evolve as more cases are decided. And one of the most significant right now that's pending in the US is against Anthropic and Concord Music Group. And so that one, right now, it's sitting with dispositive motions, and I think in 2026, we'll figure out how that will develop, with the most significant issue being fair use, and that's a legal defense to use copyrighted materials in the US. So everyone's waiting for that, and it might shape how the legal framework changes, not just in the US, but how different countries kind of adopt going forward. And there are real penalties here for not kind of abiding by the copyright laws, and we saw Anthropic in a different situation using pirated books to train their data AI models, and they were hit with a $1.5 billion settlement. So in the US, we're talking about real numbers here and not kind of small issues. And when we're looking at if you're an end user and you're creating AI-generated music, generally speaking, if it's purely AI prompted, it's not copyrightable, so then it becomes a bit more difficult to commercialize. And then if it's, in the US at least, if you are seen as kind of adding more of a human element to it, the US Copyright Office will, on a fact-by-fact, case-by-case basis, decide whether or not that music is something that is copyrightable and is something that you can commercialize. So again, it's very unsettled in the US, and we're kind of waiting to see how things go as these cases progress. So as a startup, what do you do? How do you protect yourself? And there's several key ways that you can do that. One of them is start licensing discussions early. So if you're using catalogs of copyrighted materials, engage in those discussions with the copyright holders and work to create these frameworks early on so you don't run into lawsuits further down the road. And the second is really create strong terms of use on your websites or your platforms that protect you and protect your company. And this can go to limiting your liability as the platform provider, clearly identifying who owns what and what you're actually providing them. So we saw in Suno, they have limited their liability to the maximum of $100 US, and saying that yes, you will own what you create as the final output through the app, but they cannot guarantee that you'll have any copyright. So kind of limiting the liability that you have and really making it clear as things are kind of up in the air right now in the US.
Thank you. Okay, also the BPI is also the really big voice to shape those kind of AI with the balance with the copyrights. And then can you share also your perspective and also your the approach?
Yes, of course. So the BPI, our CEO has this phrase that isn't a day that goes by when we don't talk about AI at the BPI, because literally for the last 3 or 4 years, it's been the very forefront of our lobbying position. We have a very strong lobbying team. The UK government started a consultation on AI and copyright, and the BPI have been very heavily involved in that because they, following a sort of US-Japan model, they wanted to have a text and data copyright exemption. So if you're an AI company, you could use, like fair use, you could use every song ever written to develop your tool. And the BPI has campaigned very heavily against that alongside our colleagues in the film industry and the TV industry. We set up the Make It Fair campaign with the AI in the middle, fair. Anyway, makes sense when you see it. And that was all about protecting human creativity. The reason why the UK has got an incredible cultural industry is because of copyright, because our gold standard copyright law has enabled lots of people to make a career out of their creativity. So we're very keen to protect that. The UK government has not ruled out changes to copyright law in the future. So we're also very, we're watching the space as well, as Stephanie was saying. But we have seen lots of really, really promising AI licensing deals happening. We've got startups who've managed to license globally across all 3 majors. So, for example, Click and Clear, who've got a huge global catalogue of songs to use in performance sports, choreographed sports. We've got MediMusic, who've got global licenses to take music catalogue into healthcare. So you can dementia treatment or even just lowering blood pressure and heart rate. It's very clever. So there's lots of really nascent green shoots deals happening. But we would absolutely second what Stephanie was saying. If you get involved with the rights holders early, then you can explore lots of unique ways of progressing in this space.
Thanks, Amelie. So unfortunately, Japanese legal framework is the worst in a global basis. Like AI model is able to train from all of the copyrighted contents without any compensation or any approval. And so I'm also sitting on the board of director of the JASRAC, which is a Japanese Music Copyrights Association, and also and then also the other rights organization is really against to the legal framework. So we are really kind of lobby to this change. So let me a little bit kind of shift to the topic for like a music export and cross-border collaboration through technology. And then so that maybe I would like to ask Teng for a case study of the how NODA help those the facilitate cross-border collaboration like a music export or communication or collaboration.
Yeah. So Nodal supported promotion and management, so calendar service and booking live stage, and also so to global automatic transformation and analytics automation. So artists concentrated create music. So our AI, so Nodal, so becoming a great partner to artists and who want to work across border. So
Anita, so you have anything?
Oh, yeah. Soundra, as I already showed you, has a lot of cross-border collaborations. Like 80% of our revenue is from across the world. Most of it is the US market. Like as we already said, it's a big market. UK is also up there. Like I said, we have collaborations with 504 in French Montana, like big rappers from the States. Then we have Kopi Kenangan on the business side. It's an Indonesian coffee house chain, and they use our background music because they were hit with like copyright strikes. It's like, you know, PROs, like BPI go around and they check if the background music is licensed, which is a good thing because we want to protect artist rights. But yeah, like if it's a smaller chain or something, it's hard for them to get like the yearly licensing plans. So that's where Soundrock can step in and help to get customized music for the moods. So we really collaborate with. Yeah, we have like 20 companies abroad, like worldwide, where we work with in Brazil too. Yeah, basically all across the world, you can hear Soundrock's music, both in business and art as well.
Thank you. And Amalie, also the UK has been really also the pioneer of the helping the music export and the music tech export. Can you also share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. So the UK doesn't have technically an export office for music like some countries do, but the BPI acts in that role. So we work very closely with the government. They have a modern industrial strategy, and the creative industries with music inside that is a key priority for them. So they distribute £30 million over the next 3-year period. A large amount of that is for our music export growth scheme. So we run this every year. We take artists who otherwise can't afford to get into a territory to perform showcases, to pay for visas, but also to do digital marketing. Because I think what's really fascinating about export and technology is that it has enabled us to completely change how we export artists. Instead of it being a push and a big campaign and, you know, lots of expense and lots of risk, you can literally grow your audiences digital first. You can make really creative campaigns. You can collaborate with artists in domestic territories, and you can pinpoint with data exactly where your hotspots are going to be, as Ten was saying. You can work out where you're going to sell out a gig. You can have fan clubs. You can be speaking to your audiences all across the world before you even touch down in that city or in that territory, which is amazing. And we are 100% for that. It's changed everything. That said, we also very firmly believe that boots on the ground, that having a presence, that having engagement in person in a territory is also really crucial to successful export. So you can turn export into discovery, into pull rather than push, but there comes a point where support like what the BPI offers in terms of money to actually get you there, money for your visa, support with knowing local promoters and knowing local marketing companies, and also crucially having key partners such as Taka, Music Tech Japan, so that when we land on a trade mission or a showcase, we've got people here who can help support the cultural awareness and land really well with the artists. So yeah, I think technology, great, but you also need the industry and the ecosystem and the connections as well.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the last part, so we would like to also more like discuss about ecosystem. Like maybe they usually Japanese say community, but yeah, of course this event like SUSHTEC is also the making real great ecosystem, also to gather a really ecosystem all around the world. And then this kind of human connection, also the founders connection and the venture capital connection, it's all ecosystem. And then so how we can shape this ecosystem to also the benefit Japanese music startup like the Sandro or the Baby Jam. So also can you share some your the straightforward requests like okay, we need more like a easy policy or the funding or the infrastructure. Can you attend? Can you share a little bit about it?
Yeah, no. Recently, we've seen more support for the entertainment industries from the government. So there are all more funding program for startups or like something. But for startup, money is not only. So we are collaborated. There are big company and there are artists and the creators. So I think it is important to create more collaboration between startups and companies. So events like Takase, Sustek are very helpful. They bring people together and create opportunities to start new partnership. So I hope we will see more programs like Sustek in Japan, like this, that help people connect and collaborate, so create and companies also.
Thank you, Anita.
Yeah, I actually totally want to just say exactly the same thing. It's great to have events like Sushi Tech. I talked about this with Daigo a little bit. What are the challenges for the global expansion? And it seems like Japanese investors can be quite hesitant to expand their minds to a global market. But as I already told you, 80% of our revenue is from the global market.
I agree.
Exactly. So it really helps to see the chances here if investors can see that global expansion can really work. And from a marketing perspective, I worked for a company exporting Japanese products before. Made in Japan is such a trustworthy label, and at Soundro we really also reflect that. So I think it can be such a good global advantage to be from Japan, and I really hope that investors can also see this advantage and help and support global expansions and be more open to not just stay domestic.
Great. So Amalie, also the BPI is also the forefront of those helping the ecosystem to grow. So can you share about that?
Yeah. So for the last 15 to 20 years, the BPI has been really actively engaged with the startup community. And that looks like, as I say, sort of free membership, but really it's about translation. So we're trying to translate how the music industry works to founders at a really early stage so that they can build the right products. And we're also trying to translate to the music industry what some of these new technologies mean for them and how they might translate into consumer changes or issues down the road. We also do quite a lot of work with investors. So we also try to educate investors in music readiness and trying to understand and explain to the startups that often you want to use music, but perhaps look beyond music as well to perhaps larger entertainment industries. We have a lot of crossover, like health tech, games, other kind of wider create tech. So we recently ran 2 years of an accelerator program as well, just to cement and formalize some of that learning. So basically we're offering access to the music industry, but actually for global startups, hint, hint, for you guys, we've got over 300 startups all over the world who are trying to use our connections to test things in the UK, which, as Taka said, is the third largest music market. So they're very hungry for innovation and piloting projects. So come to us and we can introduce you to the industry in the UK.
Perfect. So Stephanie, so also maybe the US, and then also as you're helping the kind of startups, not only for the entertainment or the music, but so from your perspective, so what's your advice when those the more like the shaping or the helping the Japanese if the Japanese music startup to go into the US market or the ecosystem? So what's your advice?
So I think that's a great question. Generally speaking, is finding a trusted advisor, right? So a lot of times startups, they don't have sufficient funds. They look at lawyers, they look at accountants, they look at tax advisors as too expensive early on. But really it's finding those trusted advisors from the start to build out the framework that you need to be successful and to avoid lawsuits or challenges going forward that may challenge your IP or that may challenge your most valuable assets. So I think one is engaging advisors early, advisors that understand the space, really focusing on protecting the IP, getting the licensing framework in place. And I think we've seen the market really reward startups that do that. In the US, when Suno, around the time it was undergoing all the settlement negotiations, it was able to secure $250 million in Series Series C round. So we're seeing the investors really kind of support startups that are doing the right thing. Also, Clay Vision, another startup in this space, they had actually built out the licensing framework before even launching. So they signed major licensing deals with Warner, with Sony, with Universal in November, and then about a week or two later, they were able to secure $10 million in financing. So I think proving to the market that you're doing the right things and taking the steps to protect your IP, whether it's a company in Japan trying to tap into the markets in the US, that framework will apply globally and show investors that you're serious and really trying to protect the most valuable asset of your startup.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the finding the right advisor is kind of also who can navigate the market. I think that we can work mutually for the both benefit, right? Okay, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap up this session. So I would like to have kind of final comments from each of the speaker. Anita?
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting this session. It was really fun. I really think it's so important to not leave artists behind, both on the input and the output side, like you said, advisors. But like I talked to a lot of musicians, and they're very worried about AI, and I think rightfully so. So I think it's really important that the industry, lawmakers, and companies work together to really use AI as the tool that it can be to expand creativity rather than leaving behind the very heart and soul of what is music. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Amalie?
Yeah, thank you again for inviting us to lead this, to take part in this panel. I think final thoughts for us are collaboration is key. So every opportunity to sort of go on trade missions or to take part in community discussions or to, come and speak to us at the end. I think it's really important to keep human connectivity through, through export. And also, don't take culture for granted. It's what we always have to say to our government. We've had a very strong music export here in the UK, but don't take it for granted because it's always under threat.
Great. Yeah, definitely. So I think the UK people or the UK company maybe does respect to the cultural difference. And then maybe you guys can manage really great. Yeah, so that is, I think, the point where we can find more like a collaboration opportunity. Thank you. So, Teng.
Yeah, music industry and artists need a new systems or finance and the promotion and analytics system and other. So we will develop the Noda. So it's the solutions or artists around the system so in the world. So we will, develop.
Okay, you guys going to continue to develop the really great, better platform, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So, Stephanie.
So I'd say the train first, ask permission later era is over, and we're in the era of collaboration, supporting artists, ensuring proper licensing and protection of copyrights. I think we're all aware AI is going to be a key part of the music industry going forward, so it's working together to develop those relationships and kind of being comfortable with the uncomfortable set of laws that we have that don't fit squarely within this. So collaboration is key.
Which means fair use is over?
We will see after this Anthropic case. I think in 2026, we're definitely going to have answers coming down. I don't think it's over. It's how does it apply?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the fair use concept is from the digital millennial. The copyrights and the law framework, right? That has been absorbing every copyrighted content in the US platform. Yeah. So I think it's going to be, if it's going to be over or maybe less power, that's going to be really game changing.
Yeah, and I think the fair use is not over. And for those that aren't aware, it's a defense in US laws that allows you to use copyrighted material without permission, but in very limited cases. And so almost every single startup has argued, oh, this falls within fair use. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see what's happened. Okay, thank you so much for the fellow speakers and also the audience. Also, I think we're going to do some kind of a networking right after that. So please come to say hi and exchange the name card. And let's do that. Thank you so much. ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please step down from the stage. Thank you. And we hope you